Frankenstein. On a cold, dreary November night, Dr. Victor Frankenstein works diligently in his laboratory. A rectangular table stands in the centre of the cavernous room. On it lays a large, heavy iron and glass sarcophagus. Two long ribbed metal pipes issue from the head and the foot of the huge vessel. Suddenly, a large, bony hand slaps against the glass porthole. Victor jerks his head back, stunned. The fingers are scratching. He turns, running to the electrical rig, shutting the whole thing down. It cycles off, whining into silence. Inside the sarcophagus, the body relaxes, shutting down with it, becoming limp and lifeless in the murk, spasms trailing off. Victor stares at the sarcophagus, realizing his creature has stopped moving. Nothing now. He sags to his knees, utterly devastated at the loss of his dream. The creature opens its dim yellow eyes, aware. Its mouth gapes wide, teeth bared in a silent scream as it tries to breathe and finds nothing in its lungs but fluid. Victor is wrapped in his despair, face cradled in his hands. A soft tap. Glancing over his fingers, thinking he imagined it. No, there's another tap, and another. In his eyes, sheer joy and stunned exultation, triumph and wonder unbelievably sublime. A bare whisper. Then all hell breaks loose. Massive convulsions rack the sarcophagus, damn near shaking it off its table. Victor frantically raced over, fingers fumbling on the wing nuts, spinning them loose, trying to free the drowning man. He unscrews the final bolt, reaches for the rope to hoist the lid away. The lid suddenly propels across the room, forced from below with immense power. The massive copper shell hurtles across the lab, demolishing a vast array of equipment in its path. Victor, frozen in fear, staring at the roiling surface of the amniotic fluid as it settles. An eternity passes in the space of a heartbeat. The creature erupts from the vat like a vision from hell, thrashing and gagging, murky fluid cascading in all directions. The creature seizes Victor by his shirt front in an attempt to pull itself out of the sarcophagus. Suddenly slipping and sliding, nearly dragging Victor in, eels leaping, frothing and crackling with electricity. Victor screams, "Help me! Help me!" Trying to pull away, trying to break the creature's grip. The whole thing tips over. Victor reels back, falling as the casket slams to the ground, revealing its murky content, washing the creature across the floor like a body tossed from the ocean, eels writhing and snapping electrical discharges. In an attempt to save his master, Igor grabs at the nearest tool, a hammer, slipping in the slime. Swinging the hammer, he begins to attack the fiend. Dropping the hammer, Igor retreats into the shadows. With the monster lying lifeless at his feet, Victor falls to his knees. The creature's yellow skin scarcely covered the work of muscle and arteries beneath. His hair was of lustrous black and flowing, his teeth of pearly whiteness, but these luxuriances only formed a more horrid contrast with his watery eyes that seemed almost of the same colour as the dun white sockets in which they were set. His shriveled complexion and straight black lips resembles the features of a corpse. Unable to endure the aspect of the being he had created, Victor rushed out of the room and continued a long time traversing in his bedchamber. Unable to compose his mind to sleep, he threw himself onto the bed in his clothes, endeavouring to seek a few moments of forgetfulness. But it was in vain. Victor started from his disturbed sleep with horror. A cold dew covered his forehead. His teeth chattered, and every limb became convulsed. The dim light of the moon forced its way through the window shutters, illuminating the miserable monster whom he had created. The monster held up the curtain of the bed, his eyes fixed on his creator. His jaws opened, and he muttered some inarticulate sounds, while a grin wrinkled his cheeks. He spoke, but Victor did not hear. One hand was stretched out to detain his master. Victor escaped and rushed downstairs, bursting through the door. Victor ran across the courtyard and out into the lane and ran panting to the village. To his horror, he heard the monster following in the distance.